Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for October 27th, 2021 from Psalm chapter 84, The Joy of Gathering in God's House. This daily devotion series was started because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I wasn't the only pastor who used technology of the internet to bring the gospel message online. But as the time kept going on, people started getting comfortable with, you could say, going to church or getting the gospel online. But what about meeting in person? Gathering together at church? That is important. So today's psalm will actually explain about the joys of being in God's house. From Psalm chapter 84, beginning with verse 1. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts! My soul longs, yes, faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh sing for joy to the living God. The psalmist states there's a longing of the body and soul to be in God's holy house. Let's continue on with verse 3. Even the sparrow finds a home, and the sparrow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. At your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house, ever singing your praise. Notice the emphasis on singing and praising God in God's house. Verse 5, Blessed are those whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the highways to Zion. As they go through the valley of Balla, they make it a place of springs. The early rain also covers it with pools. So they go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. What is that valley of Balla? It is an illustration. Sometimes these words are translated as valley of sorrow. The point that the psalmist is trying to make is that even though we may be traveling through a time of great sorrow or pain, being in God's house does indeed give us strength. This idea here gets us ready then for the next verses. Verse 8, O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. Behold our shield, O God. Look on the face of your anointed. Notice the cry through prayer with the recognition that God is our shield for our protection. Verse 10, For a day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wickedness. This verse of the psalm is probably the one that is most often quoted. One day with God is better than thousands of days elsewhere. Think of it this way. With Jesus, we are with Christ in heaven above. Where else could we be? That's why the psalmist says, I would rather be a humble doorkeeper with Christ in heaven above than be elevated to the highest position in hell. Because if you are not with Christ in paradise, then you are in the depths of hell. So it doesn't matter which position you are, high or low, it depends on the location. Are you with Christ in heaven or not? Verse 11, For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the one who trusts in you. We are indeed blessed as we trust in Jesus Christ. But where does Christ promise to be? He promises to be where we gather, to hear his word, and to receive the sacraments. That is, his word attached to earthly elements. Yes, there is a lot of joy. There is a lot of gifts of God being given right here as we gather in God's house. So yes, I'm going to try to keep on continuing these daily devotions, even as we slowly recover from this COVID-19 pandemic. However, these daily devotions and online sermons are not designed to replace the gathering in God's house, but it is a good supplement to our physical gathering. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.